I moved to Boise in '79 and started Classic Design Studio in 1989. Actually worked out of this garage studio for 10 years, and then we moved into a studio downtown. I was always artistic, and I felt that if there was a way that I could be artistic and be independent and make a living, that's what I wanted to do. I love to draw, and I love to draw letters, and letters are my anatomy, and words are my landscape. So I just love putting letters together. I love seeing letters dance together. You know, and it's always really important to me that if letters are together, you can read them. It's not just drawing things that are so abstract that you can't read, but because I'm in the sign industry, it has to read. It has to work as a sign. But you know, just putting letters together and putting ornamentation around them is it's the art of it to me. I went to art school in Chicago after I got out of the service, and with the VA bill, I was able to go to art school for 2-3 years, and then it was an art school where focused on lettering and design and layout, and so I learned letter structure, I learned layout and composition at a very early age in my career, and my love of letters was probably formed in those 2 or 3 years. I usually start with a really rough sketch, and then I'll look at that rough sketch, and sometimes I've already got the design in my head. You know, I can get a lot of the basic stuff put inside my head and see how I want the letters to start forming together, and then I'll start drawing. And that's when the real art of the lettering and the spacing, and of course, always make sure it's spelled right. And then I'll do overlays. And usually a typical sketch will take 4 to 6 hours. I like to think that they're timeless, but most of them are kind of vintage type. So, you know, I refer to a lot of the historic books that were printed in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. And that's what has influenced me the most. You know, and when I'm drawing like this, I just lose time, you know, and I don't look at anything that I draw as like a waste of time. I just look at it as an exercise. About 5 years ago, I got a Frank Lloyd Wright book from my daughter, and it was on all his pencil sketches. And in the book, there was a little note that said, "Dad, you know, you really do nice pencil sketches. You should think about doing a book." And that was the basic influence for us to start thinking about even producing a book. Being an artist, and then being a tradesman, and being a designer, and then being able to draw something, and then knowing while I'm drawing it that I can make it, there's nothing better than that. I look at what I do as it gives me joy, and I really appreciate the fact that I can still do this at my age, and I still feel like I'm learning and growing. And you know, I feel like the art itself is timeless, and I like looking at these drawings after I'm done with them and going, "Oh, that's really nice," or if you know, I can improve on this or make some changes on that to make it really nice. I like drawing and designing things that will get made and will get reproduced, and I'd be happy designing birdhouses or, you know, anything as long as I got a pencil in my hand and designing. I'm a builder. I'm a maker. You know, I love putting designs together that will end up in a project. I would encourage anybody that feel that they want to have a life in art, that they should find their niche and then go for it. And then just feel like if you really want to do this and you really love doing it, do it. And you know, just dedicate yourself to it. And if you can't do it full time, do it part time, but do it because it really brings joy to your life. I earned, you know, my living working with my hands. We built a business with our creativity, and I still have a wife and kids that love me. Is it getting better than that?